Every finance video on this internet is going to tell you the same thing. Cut your lettuce, cancel your subscriptions, spend less. And look, that advice isn't wrong, but here is what nobody tells you. Cutting expenses has a hard ceiling. You can only cut so far before there is nothing left to cut. But your income, there is no selling on that. Zero. So in this video, I'm going to give you a 90-day plan that actually fixes both sides of the equation. And at some point in this video, I'm going to show you the exact move that most people skip entirely. The one that actually changes the trajectory of your money long term. We're going to cover how to find where your money is leaking right now, how to automate your finances so you never have to think about it, and how to start building real wealth even if you're starting from scratch. Let's go into it. Before we can fix anything, we need to get brutally honest about our money is actually going. Every successful business knows exactly what they bring and what they spend. Your personal finances should work the same way. Pull up the last 3 months of statements, bank accounts, credit cards, any debt payments, and categorize every single expense into 3 buckets. Fixed expenses like rent and utilities, and discretionary spending like eating out and shopping, and debt payments. Log all of in a spreadsheet. What we want at the end of the week is a clear monthly average per category and a saving rate. What percentage of your income are you actually keeping? I promise, this exercise will surface habits you didn't even know you had. Now you have the data. Sort your expenses largest to smallest and ask one simple question about each category. Can I reduce this by 10 to 30% over the next 90 days? Look, for the low-hanging fruit, high Uber spend, that's a habit to examine. Car insurance. Most people never call around. Spending 20 minutes comparing providers can save $100 a month. Subscriptions you forgot about, gone. If you can cut $400 a month, that's a $4,800 a year. That's a ROF, RI contribution, a flight, or a serious dent in your debt. Do this in week 2, because once you actually see the numbers, something uncomfortable is going to happen. You're going to find a category where you've been quietly bleeding money for months without realizing it. And that's exactly what this week is designed to fix. Here's the problem with cutting expenses though. Willpower runs out. You can tell yourself you'll spend less every month, but life gets busy. You forget to check, and 3 months later, you're back where you started. That's why week 3 isn't about discipline. It's about removing the need for it entirely. Open a high yield saving account. Right now, the competitive rate is around 3.8%, 4%. Then set up automatic transfers so that the moment you get paid, a portion moves out of your checking account before you can touch it. Even automatically 10% of your take-home pay, say 5% into savings and 5% into investments, puts you ahead of most Americans. You never see it, so you never spend it, just like a 401k. If you have high interest debt, especially credit cards, this week is about getting a payoff plan in place. Search for a credit card calculator, plug in your balance and monthly payment, and see what happens if you add just $75 more per month. On a $2,500 balance, that alone cuts 8 months of your payoff date. Then do this one thing most people never think to do. Call your credit card company and ask them to lower your interest rate. Bring up that competitors are offering better rates, that you've been a loyal customer. The worst they say is no. The best case, they drop your rate and you save hundreds in interest. It takes 5 minutes. Your goal this week is to get your emergency fund to $1,000. That might not sound like much, but 59% of Americans can't cover a 1,000 emergency expense. Crossing that 4-digit mark is a real psychological win. Sell things you don't use. Pick up a side hustle. Redirect any savings from week 2 straight into this fund. Keep it highly yield. Saving account. Ollie, Sophie, or Wealthfront are solid options, so it's earning interest while it sits there. Stocks have produced the highest average returns of any asset class over the past 100 years, around 8 to 10% annually. Real estate, gold bonds, they all fall behind. For a beginner, the simplest and most effective move is to open a brokerage account, Fidelity, Vanguard, and so on, and start buying an S&P 500 index fund. One purchase gives you exposure to hundreds of the top US companies. Set it up, automate a monthly contribution, and leave it alone. Investing $500 a month for 30 years at 8% average returns gives you over $680,000. The math works. You just have to start. And this is where I want to come back to something I said at the very beginning of this video. Everyone focuses on cutting, but cutting is the floor, not the ceiling. Everything we've done up this point has been about protecting what you already make. Week 7 is where the real leverage is, because there is no limit to how much you can earn, and most people never even try to find out what the number could be. Option 1. Ask for a rise. If you haven't had one in over a year, you're losing ground to inflation. Research what your role pays in your market and make the case. Option 2. Start a side hustle, freelancing, flipping items on Facebook Marketplace, dog walking delivery, any of it adds up. Option 3. Learn a high income skill like coding, video editing, sales, and so on. These are skills you can monetize quickly. By the end of this week, identify one thing you can do to make more money and take one step toward it. This week you are going to write down one specific saving goal for the year: emergency fund, down payment, investing milestone, whatever matters most to you, along with exactly how much you need and how much you have to save per month to hit it. Research shows that people who write down their goals and share them with someone are 42% more likely to achieve them. So write it down, tell someone. Credit cards are a double-edged sword. If you have self-control, they're essentially free money. Cashback, points, travel perks, all founded by people who don't pay their balance in full. If you don't have self-control, the average APR right now is over 21%. That's expensive. If you are unsure, get one with a low limit and test yourself for 3 to 6 months. Either way, know this: using a credit card responsibly and paying it off monthly builds your credit score, which affects the interest rates you can get on mortgages and car loans for decades. That's worth understanding. Net worth is simple. Add up everything you own, subtract everything you owe, that's the number. Check it every quarter. Most people have no idea what their number is. Once you start watching it grow, even slowly, it becomes motivating in a way that budgeting spreadsheets never are. Take an hour this week to go back and review your spending since week 1. Categorize everything again. Compare it where you started. Have your expenses stayed flat or gone down in the categories you targeted? If you find any leaks, subscriptions that crept back, spending that drifted up, patch them now before the final stretch. You made it. Now zoom out. Write down 3 goals: 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Your 1 year goal should be specific and reachable. Save $10,000. Pay off a card. Hit your emergency fund target. Your 5 year goal is bigger. Buy property, launch a business, hit a net worth milestone. Your 10 year goal is the vision: financial independence, early retirement, total freedom. If you've made it this far, you now have something most people will never have: an actual system. Not motivation, not vague goal, a system. But here's what I didn't tell you at the start of this video. Everything in this 90-day plan, the automation, the emergency fund, the saving rate, all of it becomes almost irrelevant if you don't know what actually to do with the money once you have it. Because keeping cash in saving account long term is actually one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. Inflation is quietly eating it every single year. If you want to know exactly where to put your money so it works for you, not against you, click this video right here. It's a complete beginner guide to investing, and it's the natural next step after everything we just covered. I'll see you there.